Welcome everyone to another episode on A Message for Her. No, we love that because it allows you to keep doing the work that you're doing, and it always takes a special person to do what you do because they have to have the capacity for it and the heart for it, which is like the most important thing. So now
whatever you feel, no matter how other people perceive it, your feelings are valid. You need to be heard. You don't have to carry everything all on your own. And do not dismiss whatever you're feeling.
I am so glad you're here. Today I get to sit in conversation with my good friend, and it's such a privilege for me, and I recognize it now, that I get to have these conversations with her, and in those moments I'm actually receiving free therapy. So the intent of this conversation today is for you to feel like you're part of this conversation, is to demystify some of those concepts that are surround therapy, and is to get like an understanding of what that world looks like. And I hope at the end of this episode you are able to understand that therapy can be a normal thing for everyone. It's not damaging. It's not, I know there's a lot of stigma around it, so we're going to work through some of those thoughts. So to me, she's my friend, but she's so much more. And I get to be connected with people that carry community at heart. That's just a default setting because that is who I am. So I'm gonna give her the platform to introduce herself because I never want to do the disservice. Sometimes we take advantage when it's our friends, but then I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Welcome, Natasha.
Well, thank you, Rati.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Throughout this episode, you will discover my name is Rati. And also I'm from Zimbabwe, we both are. So sometimes we might throw in other words, it's like a default setting. The moment you understand you're sitting with somebody from home, you tend to default to the other language. But we're gonna try. I used to think in Shona and then have to translate
Oh,
it.
yes.
But now I got better. I think in English now.
Yeah.
All right, Natasha, tell them who you are.
I am Natasha and I am Rati's friend. About me, well, first and foremost, I like to introduce myself as a human being, someone who sees people and someone who also wants to be seen. I live in validation. That's who I am. So if you could name me, you could name me Natasha Validation. And as a human being,
Yes.
I'm a mom of 3, a husband, and I love life. I'm a psychotherapist, counselor, clinician in mental health. I work a lot with children, but I'm expanding and growing with working with adults, which is something...
It's something you've been doing for free.
Something I've been doing for free, as you said. So it's very interesting. I love what I do, and part of what I do shapes, who I am, which is, being there for people, listening, understanding. And what brings me joy is to see other people unlock every possibility in them for them to be able to achieve the things they want to achieve. I love to see people being successful.
This is going to be so powerful for me, and I don't know why I'm even getting like a bit emotional because I know you. I have experienced you in so many environments, but then today I guess I get to experience you as like I get to see your why in depth, why you do the things that you do. And that is so powerful because I've always been curious about people that do the work that you do, because you have the ability to hold so many people's emotions, and then also how to be able to separate all this from it's like you live in these like multi-dimensional worlds. So today is gonna be like very special for me, and I always have to have notes because I'm like, I get to sit with my friends, so we're gonna end up talking about food. which we always which is do. Great too, right? So Natasha, why do you think therapy still carries stigma, especially for women?
Therapy. When I think about therapy, I even think about mental health, like just people hearing mental health,
Yeah.
and they go, oh my God, because it's associated with, the worst cases of mental wellness. People don't picture mental health or therapy or, as everyday things.
Yeah.
It's seen as, something, even if you put it in a cultural context, just going to talk to someone about things that are bothering you, it carries that stigma that, it's because I have failed, I can't do it myself. That's one thing. You want to be perfect. So the moment you come out and say, I need therapy, it becomes like, an imperfection type of thing. Like
now it's like you're wearing it on your sleeve now. Everybody knows.
Yes, everybody knows. And because therapy and mental health is together, and just the stigma attached to mental health alone, it gives it, the whole stigma, and people not wanting to be associated or be seen with people like me.
Like you. And I'm like, But then for me, at least I get to. So the other thing that came to mind when we talk about the stigma, especially for women, I was in conversation with Kayla a couple of days ago, who is a physiotherapist, a pelvic physiotherapist. And then when we look at mental health, there are some things that are just passed on to us. Sometimes it's in a cultural context. Sometimes it's just women in general, right? Yeah. Where it's just like, no, you deal with your own stuff, right? Like, just deal with your people. You don't need to be telling people your business, And then there's this, then you just grow with it, where it's like, I'm really struggling, but it's my business. And then sometimes even you can get to a place where you're like, okay, just maybe I can talk to Natasha about, what is like my friend's gonna say, because now we believe the same thing. Your friends still believe the same thing. Your family believes the same thing. So now we're just in this space where you're stuck, where it's like, I could access help, but having people like you who are beginning to, normalize it is like very helpful through the work that you do. Like, especially we can speak on the Black community and also being African. Yes. Which is like where I was like, I don't do therapy. I don't need to talk to people about my problems. But then, it's important sometimes, and that's how we're gonna keep breaking it down and getting more information from you.
Yeah, I like what you said about, telling other people's business, because if you bring it back to culture, it is huge amongst us Africans, Black women, and we even have a saying in Shona, kufukura hapwa. Yes,
opening your
armpits. So going to therapy, it's like, you are showing your armpits to everybody.
A stranger.
And it is so internalized, in us as we grow, that we have a lot of Shona proverbs, that can act against us, when trying to seek therapy. Think about chakafukita zimba matenga, like what covers is the roof.
Yeah.
So people don't need to know what is
happening inside the house.
When you now go to a stranger, when you have to go and knock on a stranger's door and asking, it just creates a whole, And if you think about too, when we're kids, when we're young, how we are raised plays a huge part as to how we see therapy, or even just asking for help.
Yeah.
Are we teaching our kids to be perfect? What are we doing? Because that plays a role in how a person views seeking help. I don't even think about it as therapy. I think about it as asking for help.
I think that even normalizes to an extent to just say, like, if you look at therapy, think about like, I'm struggling and I need help. It's like, I'm trying to build this giant building, but then I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. So I'm going to ask somebody else to help me out with that. So what do people most misunderstand? I think we just kind of tackled it, but maybe you can expand it a little bit. What do you think, what do most people misunderstand about what therapy actually is?
I think the biggest one is people come to therapy thinking they're going to get answers. Like, you're just gonna ask me, like, okay, hi, I have this problem. What should I do?
Yeah.
Or they ask, am I right? Am I wrong? And when you don't deliver those direct answers, people are disappointed, or they feel like, what is the point, in coming for therapy?
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge myth, like
That's around
I'm
it.
supposed to be
To have the answers
yeah,
for
I'm
me now.
supposed to get like
Now
we're
you're the
supposed to-
expert in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
So fix me.
Fix me. Yes.
Okay. So I love that because I think we talked about it not long ago that it was my greatest discovery. So when we talk about therapy, I was also somebody who was like, I'm not doing that. Like I don't need to do that. And I think what helped was being in an environment where it is normalized a little bit depending on what part of the world you're in and depending on the people you surround yourself with. So at first it was just like one of those things that I was like, I will never even think about it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. Like I wasn't against people doing it, but I just knew that I wasn't gonna do it up until you struggle yourself, right? And that came at a time where I'm like, what is happening to me? At first it's like I've been so sad before, and then I'm able to get up and I'm going. And then, at that point, it was just like, I do recognize I'm really, really sad, but I don't know how to fix it. But then also you start thinking, okay, like, if I go to therapy, like, what are people going to think? If I tell this person, they're probably going to judge me for it because there's some things that are just not normalized depending on your environment.
Yes.
And, like, for me, it was just that moment where it's like, I couldn't pinpoint when I'm like, okay, and there's this thing in like and again it might not just apply to our culture, it might apply to you guys too, where it's like, what do you mean you're depressed? You live in Canada, you have a house, you drive a really nice car, you have a house, like what are you talking about?
And the husband.
You have a whole husband and you're depressed. Some people are looking for husbands. You know what? So then it's like you begin to feel guilty for struggling just because you have all these things. So I kind of figured at that moment, if I even try to reach out, and it's not even blaming the people around us because they are working with what they understand too, right? So then at that point, I'm like, okay, yes, I have kids, beautiful ones. I have this husband who loves me. Why am I miserable and I have a job? What is happening to me? So I struggled through that, and I remember now not being able to get out of bed. Because now it's just like I'm too sad. Like I don't have energy. These things I love taking care of my kids. I would still the first couple of days it's like I would do it, but then as soon as I'm done, like I have to go lay down. Then having my husband, who's also like African and Nigerian, saying to me like, listen, like I know that this is something that we both like. We got nothing on it, like we don't believe in it, we never said we're gonna do it, but I don't know what to do for you now. Like he has been taking care of the kids, he's doing everything he can you go talk to someone else? So then I show up, like I finally go through the motions of like, okay, maybe I just have to go. So I go, but then I'm going because now I'm like, fix me, I'm here, this is happening to me, make it go away so I can go my way. But then my discovery of therapy was that you just let me get out of my head. What I did the entire time was talk to myself. Like it was like I was sorting my thoughts, and so the moment I'm sorting this, and then the therapist goes, oh yeah, so it makes me feel like this.
Make you feel?
It makes me feel like this. Oh, what do you think you should? I should be doing this. So then by the time I left, it was like I just got out of my head. And I was able to now sort and sort. And I think I had such an appreciation for it because it was like, oh, one moment. Oh my God, it's not what I thought. But also it was like, oh, it wasn't so bad after all. And but then I still came home like, I don't need to be telling people about this. I don't need to be telling people. Right?
Yeah.
So, but that was like a crisis moment where it's like, okay, I've never dealt with this before. Now I'm an adult and I have kids and I'm supposed to be happy because I have all these things happening to me. And now I have to deal with this. So now, does somebody have to be in a crisis to now seek therapy?
No. Actually, when you come and you're already in a crisis, that's extra
Extra work.
extra work. It's if anything, I how I see therapy, like think about a vehicle, like when it's brand new. We still take it in for, maintenance every how many kilometers, like 8 for some vehicles, like after 8,000, because it's been accumulating so much. And yes, it's working perfectly, but it still needs an oil change. So just like therapy, you don't have to be in crisis where your brakes are now broken and everything. It becomes very expensive if you were not doing that regular
maintenance.
Now
I gotta go. Well, we can't buy another car in this case,
Yes.
but then now to kind of get that car to a functioning level,
Exactly.
it's gonna take
so much more and so much time. But if you are, functioning as normal, but you're aware of even just becoming aware of yourself, your thoughts, like building self-awareness. We all have a lot of work we need to. I think you and I have had discussions about that. There's lots people can do in therapy that has nothing to do with crisis. Yeah. The thing is, when you go, for therapy and you're already in a crisis mode, the first thing that we would be looking at is to stabilize you. Now I'm concerned. Are you at risk of harming yourself? Are you at, so crisis is definitely not the only reason why you should be seeking therapy. Just maintenance, building self-awareness, knowing yourself. Why do I feel angry when this happens? Why do I feel sad when this happens? We all experience different emotions every day. We go through, I don't know,
a series of love. Yes, some of them that we can't even name because we don't know what it is.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So no, crisis situations are not the only time that
we have to come.
You have to come. Yes.
Okay, so what I heard you say is that it's like a hospital, maybe a family doctor where you go for a physical. It doesn't mean that something is broken or you need something fixed right away.
Yeah.
But then the doctor, every year, they look at you and they kind of trying to figure out, like, how are we doing? And sometimes you're doing really great, and that's good. And sometimes, and also it tied into another conversation I had about knowing yourself, like staying authentic and understanding who you are. And I feel like therapy could do the same, because when you can now start to like look within to see, okay, when this person walks into the room, what is it about them that makes me feel anxious?
Yeah.
So now we're beginning to know ourselves more, and that would just make you a better person and understand yourself more, even in the way you move or in the things that you do.
Yeah.
So I really love how you like put that together.
And if I may add, the importance of coming when you're not in a crisis, it allows us, like when we talk about building self-awareness, think about it too from a cultural perspective, how we are not we know how, like we don't really have words in Shona, for example, for certain things, certain terminologies used.
What is even I'm depressed?
What is it?
But then it could mean something else.
It could mean something else. Exactly.
Yeah, that means heavy when you translate it to English.
Right.
So there's no language for it.
Exactly. We don't have, but does it mean we don't suffer from those things? No, we do. We struggle with those things. Just also understanding that mental health itself, like, it's built on like Western ideologies, like textbooks and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But if we have to now put it in our context for it to work for us, it takes learning. And do we learn in crisis? No, in crisis, it's a survival mode. Yeah, so that's also another thing I just wanted
This is something that just came in my mind, because I'm like, we are doing this, as we're having the conversation, you're answering most of my questions, which is so nice. But so now you being a therapist, right? And you have these people that come in with like different scenarios, different heavy situations, different backgrounds. Who's your own therapist? Like, how are we dealing with this when we go home with your husband, kids, and life doesn't stop lifing for you because you're helping other people? So what does that look like for you as the helper?
I don't have one.
Natasha.
Oh, I'm so perfect. Look at me. Actually, when you're a therapist, it's required. It's one of the requirements that you have what we call clinical supervision. And this is where you actually can say how some of the things that you're facing are impacting you in your own daily life. So yes, I do have a therapist, and the rate is a bit higher than normal therapy because I'm bringing in Rati, I'm bringing in so many things.
You're bringing in Ayo, and it's like, here now I have 50 people for
now
you to...
I have people. Yes, sort them out, because each time somebody comes in, they leave something with me that I carry, right? And not only them, but my friends are my therapists too. Sometimes I'm processing things that I don't realize that I'm triggered. So I will call you and I'm like, Rati, and you're like, hold on, we are not yet there. Or you say, Natasha. That is therapy.
And it grounds.
And it grounds. Yes, you call me 3 times. Oh my God, I don't know how many times you've done that. Like, we are not there. This is not what's happening. So because we are human too, right?
Yeah.
We carry things and they come out and in different circles. If not friends, my husband. Sometimes, I just come out of something and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to dump this on you. And then I just go 360 all on him.
And then you walk like 10 kilometers.
Yes, and I walk.
In the cold.
And I walk 10. I do. Walking is my biggest therapist for sure.
Okay. No, we love that because it allows you to keep doing the work that you're doing. And it always takes a special person to do what you do because they have to have the capacity for it and the heart for it, which is like the most important thing. So now, what do you think keeps people from reaching out? Like, I know we've discussed like from a perspective of like culture and like, but what are some of the things that you're like, oh, maybe we didn't touch on, or you just like kind of remember like this could stop someone from like coming
It's
in?
expensive.
That's true. That's true.
It's expensive. If I think about it, so a lot of practitioners, we will give you, like for those people with benefits at work, we will give you a receipt and you can get a refund. But I've never had any issues, like only for people with benefits at work. But there is a population that do not have benefits, and that's the reality for most people, right? People in our community, I've gotten those questions, like, because we like to say, oh, I accept all insurance, plans and whatever, but not everybody has those. So money is definitely a huge barrier. Because we're talking at least $150 an hour. And for those people that have insurance, some might get the full refund, but not. But such things, what I know is people who are in this field are people who really want to help. So to counter that point I've just made, it's still worth it to reach out and say, hey, I have this problem, and what can we do? We have what we call a sliding scale. Some might even call it pay what you can. People
I love that. It's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Because that was actually going to be my next question to say, like, what happens to the woman, the girl who's like, okay, I am, hopefully you're not in crisis yet. And if you are, please reach out to like, hospitals, like, somebody you love, talk to someone, right? Or somebody who just holds space. If you've ever observed somebody who's very kind, every time you talk to them, call them if you're ever in that position. But if it's somebody who is like, you know what, this could be good for me, but right now, like, I'm a student or like I'm out of it, what are some resources that they can leverage to just like, to help them out wherever they are?
So on the internet, there's some good stuff that we post on social media, on pages. These days, I see Instagram. There's lots of fun, therapy stuff that is being posted out there for free with coping strategies, that people can use. I make use of that myself. like the Instagram videos and all those things. That's good resource for like if you can identify registered professionals.
That's it, because that was my next thing, that like with Instagram, everybody has positioned themselves as an expert.
I know. There's definitely, people who identify themselves as registered professionals. They are worth like, listening to. There's some that I follow myself. I will make the recommendation. The names don't live in my head.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot. Also, the other resources, we do have CareMatch, like for people who are here in Canada.
Yeah.
You can always reach out for support. And for people with children, there's onestoptalk.ca that, can be utilized. And there's Campus in Sudbury. Like there's a lot of free available resources. But I do know that those services are also overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can take long, but online resources definitely something to tap into. To look into.
And also, like, depending on where you are,
yes,
we encourage that if you know the resources, that you know that they are free, leave a comment, whatever country you're in whatever city, so that the people that need those resources can be able to tap into them. So now, how can we reframe support as strength instead of a weakness?
Right. I like that question because it takes me back to the analogy that, we talked about the vehicle.
The car?
Yeah. If you're not taking care of your car, you're reckless. Like you're not being careful, you're not being conservative, you're not looking after your vehicle. So same as when you're not seeking support, it's not a strength, you are trying to be, I get it that sometimes it's like trying to be strong, but seeking support is a huge strength. You're taking care of your vehicle. You're making sure it's not going to break down and cost you more money than the initial problem burden
that it has.
Yes. And if we had to think about it, like in today's world where people are busy and doing all kinds of things while you are not seeking help or things like that because people are busy, it's also weighing down on you. It's costing health, it's costing a lot
time
of
in your environment, doing the things that you need to do.
Exactly.
So now it's actually causing bigger problems.
Yes. So if you had to look at support as a strength, because by not seeking support, it means a bigger burden.
Okay.
That's how I would.
I had a thought because I'm like, this is probably really important.
Yeah.
So when we also look at like some resources that might not be as costly, depending on your capability, books have been like such a great help. Like, books written by like therapists and stuff. They are like such a great tool, and some of them come with like workbooks that you're able to and like once we're gonna put some of them like in the description box that are like pretty helpful. And then when we talk about how it actually presents seeking support is actually a strength instead of a weakness, I do recognize that, and you did touch on that those moments where I was like laying in bed and trying to figure out, I'm gonna figure this out, like a couple days I'm gonna get up and it's gonna be okay. I wasn't able to do the things that I loved because I'm such like, again, it's like community. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can we do with Imperfection Lives Here? Okay, how can I help my husband with Afrofest? What, like, there's constantly things, and then my friends have all this passion project, but I'm not able to, I wasn't able to show up in those moments as compared to fast forward later when the therapist wasn't fixing me. All he was doing was allowing me to express myself and just holding that space, and he wasn't an expert. It was like listening to me and allowing me to like ask myself those questions and go about it. And then once I'm doing the work, which is like never done really, like again, it's like maintenance and you keep doing it if you can.
Yes.
But then once you come out on the other side, there's the strength. Now I'm able to go back to, business as usual, or like do the things that I need to do for myself. So I really love that. What would you say to someone who feels like they should be able to handle everything on their own?
I am that person.
But you actually go to a therapist who goes to a therapy, right? So that's pretty good.
It is so natural, like Rati, to just want to handle everything. It's so funny that you have this question, because I was just telling someone who was asking, if they have extra work, like design stuff and like for little projects, and if they needed a designer, and I'm like, I do it on my own. Like, how do my designs is me. Yes, how do you come up with content? You design, you do ABC, like taking everything all on your own. I do recognize that it is so difficult to ask for support and to even delegate.
Yeah.
It is so difficult. So what would I tell a person who...
Tell them,
how what would I say to them? It's difficult. It is. And I do validate. I understand. I see. I do walk those steps too sometimes, because sometimes everything just feels better, when you do it yourself.
So, of course, then I do it better.
The way I want.
And I do it the way I want. And I'm the only one who does it.
I'm the only one, right?
Who has the expertise.
Yeah. But if you look at it, being able to ask for help or being able to ask for other people to help you, it's a strength, to be able to articulate, to communicate what you want. When you're doing it all yourself, it can also be a flaw that you're not able to communicate to someone to design something how you want it.
And that's the thing too, when we talk about, like, in simple terms of just like being able to ask for help or delegate, we also have to understand our strength, right? As much as I can say that, I'll design my own Canva post for this.
Yes.
Honest to God, there's somebody who is like a professional at that. Like, they've perfected that skill so much. Sometimes it's okay for us to rest in our zones of genius. You recognize I'm really good at this, but then for this one, I know Natasha is really great at this. Let me ask her. Like, it's always good, because sometimes we are just gonna assume Natasha is so busy. Natasha is gonna say no, but then ask her and say, hey, like, Natasha might know a student who needs to intern and learn that skill. So vocalize it and ask, and then, like, you never have to do it alone. So now we're coming to, like, the end. This is like I think it's my last question.
Okay.
What does a healthy therapeutic relationship actually feel like? From your own perspective?
So, a healthy therapeutic relationship, it's feeling understood. That's the biggest thing. When you said it felt, like I was just talking, and that is good, being able to listen to yourself, like being in that space where you can feel like, someone's listening, feeling validated. When you tell someone, like, I'm going through this, or this is what I see, and that person, you don't even finish saying, that person then says, like this and that, they kind of like take it out of you. And then that's what I think, feeling heard, feeling safe, feeling validated.
Yeah, that was your word today.
Yes. Natasha validation.
Natasha validation. Yes. That is totally your word. No, I really like that, because then I'm just gonna wrap it up too. It's just saying that when we talk about, when I'm telling you and you're like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be two different kinds of people. There's ones, honestly, that will take it out of your mouth because they hold space, and they're gonna let you. Then you're gonna have some that are gonna make them about themselves.
Yes.
So you're gonna have to watch out where you go, and that's because you're gonna start saying, oh my God, you don't understand what I just went through. Like, just hold on. I need to tell you about me. Right? You want to be in places where it feels safe to express yourself, where the other person can hold space, and also they're comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm not gonna be able to help you with this, but I know that Natasha can be able to do this. And then another resource that I was thinking about, I was like, for those that are like spiritual or religious, I know that there's pastors or I don't, you know, when you say in the Shona accent, when you say pastor, it almost sounds like pasta the food. Now I'm just going off course. But yeah, there's different resources in different communities and like across religions, across like, you know, race and all this, like utilize them. There's always somebody willing to help. You just have to be open. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're failing. So Natasha, if you're gonna leave a message for her today, not me, but her, she's sitting, she's listening, she feels like she's a part of the conversation. What would you tell her today?
I will tell you that all your feelings, whatever you feel, no matter how other people perceive it, your feelings are valid. You need to be heard. You don't have to carry everything all on your own. And do not dismiss whatever you're feeling. It's important to let it out and work through it. Listening to your own voice always is the best solution.
Thank you, Natasha. I am so grateful for the gift of Natasha, and also I'm really grateful for you guys for hanging out with us, and I hope that this video continues to bless your life. As I leave you, for me, you're not broken. You are made perfect. However, life is a way of throwing us different scenarios, and it's okay to hold out your hand for somebody to help you out. To have support, again, it is strength. It's not a weakness. And there's resources everywhere to help you out. So if you're ever struggling, please don't go through it alone. Reach out for help. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm really glad you're here. And I'm your host, Gina. Till next time.
If I could fly